Welcome, everyone. My name is Ben, and this is Jamin Radio, the episode before the episode. I'm so elated to begin this session with Mr. Tosin. Yeah, Tosin is what you call a copacetic gentleman, and these conversations would be around the economy. The name of the show actually is The Economy, brought to you by Abba County. Abba County is your accounting consulting firm. They've been around for over a decade, and yeah, Tosin leads at Abba County. So the essence of this show is to help you understand the nitty-gritty of the economics, the basic concept of inflation, and how all of this generally affects your life. Right? How are you doing today, Tosin?
I'm doing great.
Amazing, amazing. It's a rainy day here in Lagos, Nigeria. Is it raining at your end as well?
Yeah, raining cat and dog. It's been raining since 1 a.m.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, so I know it's been 2 years of the current president leading the country. There's been a whole couple of events. So there's been the Dangote refinery, the deep sea. There's been the coastal road. There's been a couple of inflation going on, figures going up and below, fuel prices going high and all of that. So there's been a couple of issues, a lot of events that has influenced the first, second quarter, and if I might say the first half of the year. So as the emeritus, as I like to put it, and I like to call you, Professor, what are your thoughts on the economy of Nigeria though?
Okay. Thank you. Personally, I will think about it from where it is biting me. But for the sake of people that we relate with, or for the sake of people generally, what is biting me or where it is biting me may not be relevant. But what triggered most of the spontaneous reaction that we have, the people like us who have a bit of knowledge of economics, people from all strata of the economy, the way we see things different from the way different classes of people in the economy. I've had people express their opinion. Some people will express their opinion that government ever. Some will express their opinion and say the government is doing the best thing for you. Is stabilizing is making bold decisions, and that the economy will soon be better. I'm going to be reacting to each of these things. Then you see some people, especially those in diaspora, have different view. They have different feelings about the economy, and that is based on their bias. Some feel, it is good that the government is doing what it's doing because it's going to take away corruption. We know that corruption is a big deal in Nigeria. Anybody in diaspora, okay, great. I'm saying that there are Nigerians, I want to address based on two different broad perspectives. There's a perspective of people who are based in Nigeria. The way they see the economy, the way they feel it, the way they regard their government is different from the way those in diaspora see it.
Sure.
So I will concentrate more on the way those that are local view the economy. But I'm trying to talk about those in diaspora, especially the touch points that influence their bias. People in diaspora, it depends on how patriotic they are. Some people view the economy as bad, crazy, and they view it like there is nothing good that can come out of the country. They say the country has jinxed, has cursed. That is because even in their bias, they left the country sad. They were sad people. So everything they hear about the country is sad. So they also express their opinion. Another set of diaspora see the country, always view it from the positive side because they are patriotic. So they look at the positive things that the government is doing. they see the fact that you've been able to stabilize part of the economy. And some of the people in diaspora also view from the point, those are patriotic people anyway, from the point of view of getting rid of corruption. So on that basis, they judge the country. Where you have been somewhere else where corruption is not so apparent, you wish the same thing for your country that you love so much. So people, those in diaspora, when they see any move that curtail corruption, they are happy about it. That is why you will see people in diaspora that will support. They will support removal of subsidy. They will support streamlining the FX market so that they get rid of corruption. They will support anything that seems to get rid of corruption. So you see people coming in with different perspectives. But I want to concentrate more on the people, the economy as it relates with the people that are local. Because people like us have seen it on almost every level, every strata of the economy. We've seen it from those that are at the lowest rung of the ladder. And I will tell you things about them. I think I'm an authority in talking about those people. I've been in microfinance for over 10 years, and I relate with them. I walk on the streets. I buy things from the garages. So I understand what happens on that level. I deal with laborers. And I will also be talking about people that are seen to be the middle class. Now, somebody will say that there is no middle class in Nigeria. Definition of middle class in Nigeria cannot be related entirely with the global definition.
Oh, wow.
There are middle class in Nigeria. Yeah, there are middle class in Nigeria. See, middle class in Nigeria are people that are formal and semi-formal. Formal and semi-formal in the way they do their things. Fairly educated. Those are the middle class people in Nigeria. They're formal, semi-formal, fairly educated people. You can't define it entirely by what they earn, because you really can't define what they earn. According to statistics, especially from MBS, that also said that the unemployment rate in Nigeria is 4% or thereabout. But according to their statistics, this unemployment rate comprises those that are in formal employment and those that are not in formal employment. Those that are in formal employment are not up to 30% of the population.
Wow.
So you cannot use that formal definition to define what the middle class is, because you really don't have the data to identify and define what the middle class is. So let's take with that definition that middle class people are those that are formal, they are in formal sector, they're in semi-formal sector, and they are fairly educated. They can speak English, they can talk on radio, they can influence things, they can go on social media, they use WhatsApp, they use TikTok. Those are as people, really. The definition must shift as the world and the times that we are in are shifting. So that's what I would say. That's the way I would see it. Then I would see the upper class as people who are comfortable financially. They have their houses, they have their duplexes, they have their flats, they have their investment, their children are going to private schools. Those are the upper class because they have their cars. They don't drive without air condition. When they go in traffic, the glasses are wound up. Those are the upper class, because this is the way average Nigerians see this level of people. Now, those that are in the lower rung of the economy, they feel betrayed by the government because they have so much expectation. Suddenly, suddenly the government came around and just change the way they make money, the way they eat, the way they do all their things. The government just took everything from a level to another level that is seemingly unreachable. So because of that, those in the lower rung felt aggrieved. They felt bad. Well, you see, the thing about this set of people is that nothing moved them, honestly speaking, from what I have seen. They are the ones that are quickest to adapt to any economic situation. And here's the perspective. They see other people, whether the middle class as defined or the upper class, they see them as their own source of income. They see them as their own source of income and also their source of problem. So what they see, how they see themselves is that, hey, my source of living must come from these people because they are better than me. Not necessarily that they are actually richer. Not necessarily that the people in the middle class are richer than the people in the lower rung. The people in the lower rung, I can tell you, they are usually very liquid. I'm talking about those in garages, Okada drivers, Okada riders. I'm talking about those that fix your things on the road. Those that we offer recharge services, come and recharge your phone. You know, those people that are doing all those things. I wouldn't know whether the POS operators are in that category. I don't think so. I think they are more in the middle class category. But I'm talking about the artisans, the laborers, those that you will employ to come and clean up your house, those that you will hire to come and clean up your garden, clean up your house, maybe clean up your little ranch in your house. You know, for those upper class people, you will be surprised that people have all these things around. We see them. So you see those people that are the laborers, the artisans, the people that just sell things, sell fish, sell little things on the road, because they cannot even afford a shop, or so to say, that they will not afford a shop, because from their mindset, the whole Nigeria is punishing them, and Nigeria has to pay for them. So if they see a public property, they occupy it. They get on the road, they occupy the road. Wow. They occupied all the side of the road because they believe that is the only choice that they have. But that is not actually true. If the government is serious about sanitizing the whole place of corruption, you will not even allow all those street trading. But they go on street trading, they are hawkers on the road, they hawk in traffic, they beg in traffic. You know, those are people in the lower rung of the ladder. And these people, they view other people because they can recognize you. They can recognize the middle class as I have defined it, and they can recognize the upper class, and they believe that their daily living comes from them. Now, I said it's easier for them to adjust to any economy. How? These people, they charge you for services, they sell things to you based on their stomach need. That is why it's also easy for a politician to go to them and provide stomach infrastructure to them, and they will yield to the politician. As long as the economy remains this way, that will always be a principle that works. So what we are now looking at is, you see, the people in the lower rung of the economy, they see you and I as the source of their problem and the source of their income. So when they want to charge you for anything they have to offer to you, they charge you based on their stomach need. So even as the economy gets more stifled, as the economy gets more expensive, so their own need too becomes more expensive to gain. So if they're going to charge you for anything, they look at it from what will it cost them to have the next meal. If a laborer is coming, you're hiring a laborer and it's going to charge you. Before the government of Tinubu, you pay a laborer 3,000 naira in a day. You pay a laborer even 2,000 naira in a day, and he will work all day. This time around, if you give a laborer 5,000 naira, he's going to work half day, because it will tell you that he needs to go and eat. What you have paid him simply is the money for his food. That is the way they see things. They don't see things from the perspective of value or service. They see it from the perspective of, you need me, you want to use me, I am going to take everything I need from you. You understand? So that's, I think that let's say we settle the definition of those parts and their needs on that level.
Wow. If you allow me to interject, I want to thank you for exposing my mind to this depth of economics that you've simplified. A few things I've learned from what you just said. The definition of the middle class needs to change. Secondly, the lower class, most of the time or sometimes, is more liquid than the middle class and the upper class. And all of that just made sense to me. Well, so this is the essence of the economics brought to you by Abba County. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, anywhere you are in the world or the country, please kindly allow us to go on a break. And when we get back, we'll keep on listening to Mr. Tosin share these gems to us all. Many thanks for your time, Mr. Tosin. We'll be back in a jiffy. Welcome back, everyone, from the break. It's the first half of the show. Has been really amazing. If you missed it, not to worry. You would have all of this, on the Jamin radio on Instagram and all social media platforms. I've been with Mr. Tosin. He's the host of the show. I'm just the host of the most. Next to him, of course. You know what the show is? The economy brought to you by Abba County. Yes, Mr. Tosin. You were speaking about the hierarchy of things in the economy as it relates to every demographic of citizens within Nigeria. Before we went on the break, we were speaking about the place of passion and two classes of citizens: the citizens who are in diaspora and citizens who are native in Nigeria, the local, and how the economy affects them and how they also make decisions that affect themselves. Then we spoke to the lower class, the middle class, and the upper class. Now I know during the break we're speaking about graphical representation of the scheme of things in the strata and all of that. So you want to pick it up from there, sir?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. It's been a privilege to be able to address people in this manner. People should also understand that what we're trying to do is to or what we will say that we prefer to do is to get people to think in a way to broaden the perspective of the people, so that you won't just think about it from your own point of view, but you try to think about it in a way that seems to be holistic, and it helps you to be able to make your decision, your economic decision, having understood the level that you are within the economy. I know that most of the people that listen are people that are in that defined middle class and maybe upper class as well. Hopefully, yes, the people in the lower rung hardly listen to this kind of a program. By the time they begin to listen to it, they move from that lower rung to the middle class. That's just it. That's the way things happen. Okay, so I want to bring a perspective to how we view and judge the government, especially now that the government is celebrating 2 years and believing that they have achieved so much. From my own perspective, which I want us to look at seriously, is addressing the economy generally. Some people will ask the question, has the economy been fairer? What would the answer be? You will begin to see arguments. The truth is, the economy is not fairer. No. Some statistics show how bad it is. Some show, or some metrics, it depends on the metrics you're using, show how bad it is, and some show how great it has been. What I see that the government has done is this. The government has shifted the economy from the scale it was before and put it on another scale. In doing so, the government has succeeded in weeding out some things, or like some parasites that tend to eat up the economy. Now, let me explain this. And I think I want you to be imaginative.
Okay.
Imagine a scale. Imagine a scale that has 1, 2, 3, that has different levels or different space. Imagine you putting a plate and hang it on a level of the scale, a flat plate. Now let's assume that flat plate is the economy of the country. Now the economy of the country hangs on a level, let's say it's a level 1. It hangs on it, and it has hung on it for a long time. Now many people are using the economy, many people are eating it up, some people are slicing from it, and that's what we define as corruption. People are really eating it, slicing from it, taking what they want to take from it for their own benefit. And the economy, the plate of the economy keeps shrinking. It keeps shrinking because people are eating it. They ate half of it. They ate 3/4 of it. The economy is really reducing, and government is not doing anything about it. They keep doing the same thing the same way. Now, what this administration has done is that it looks at the remains of the economy and painfully plugged it out from the level that it was. Now, that cost a lot of blood because people bled. When you plug it out, the things that held the economy, like subsidy, was plugged out. So the economy was plugged out and now hung on a different level of the scale. What that has done is that as you're plugging it out, the people that were eating the economy before were not able to eat it again. So you plug the same economy, the same size of that economy, you plug it on a different scale, painfully. You have not put any screw or any shock absorber to make sure that even as people bleed, that it will not really affect them so much. And when you plug it on a new scale, the bleeding will not be so much. The government did not do that. Just plug it on the plate, which makes it to be hanging loosely in a way. Now, it is not that the economy has improved. It is that the level at which the economy is operating has shifted. And it's a good thing also that the corruption, the style of corruption in the past regime has now shifted. It has changed. The corruption in those days were on the basis of subsidy, largely. But these days, corruption has shifted away from the basis of subsidy. It has shifted to another sphere, so to say. So what has happened now is that nobody should make the mistake about it that your economy is now better. What has happened with the economy is that the things that make it to be unstable, things that make it to be unpredictable, things that put the economy in the hands of people that just want to eat it up, not in the hands of government per se. Those things have been removed. And that is subsidy. Now, on that basis, people are not free to just devise ways of shafting the economy. They are not so free anymore. Now everything, what you do with the economy is now more or less concentrated on the government. So if anybody is going to shaft the economy now, is the government, not the people. People are not shafting the government anymore. It is the government that has the responsibility to ensure that things move well. Now that brings stability, because the control of the economy now comes to the hand of the government. It now depends on what the government wants to do with it. Now I will say a few things about what the government is doing about it, but I want to first of all say what people should now be looking at. I've been trying to explain that the economy is not like your economy is now better, is going to serve you better. It is that things have shifted. Now, to the definition that I gave earlier on the different classes of people, lower class, middle class. Now you see that the people in the lower class have already adjusted. They've adjusted creditably, because they've shifted all their costs to their customers or to anybody who needs them. They've shifted their cost to anybody that they are begging from, because even beggars have shifted their cost. You don't give beggars 20 naira anymore these days. You won't even see it. You give beggars 200 naira. They have also shifted their cost. You understand? Now the middle class now seem to be the ones that have the problem. Now, some of the middle class don't have much problem when they work in formal sector, because their earnings have also been upgraded. Civil servants have the problem because the government that is meant to now do it for them, who is their employer, has not upgraded totally. So you see complaints from the civil service. Then the people that are outside, who are not employed in a thriving organization, who are not employed in the big organizations, who are just maybe entrepreneurs, are the ones that are feeling it most now. Because of their level of education, they tend to be a bit more decent in the way they approach people. They look at value that they want to add. Now, I want to advise that the perspective that we begin to look at our value is the perspective that the economy has shifted, which is to say that you cannot remain on the level of your charges, on the level of the charges that you were 2 years ago. You have to upgrade. Look at how the economy has shifted. Take a cue from the lower rung of the economy. Take a cue, but you now match it with your own service, the value that you are giving. Try to revalue the kind of value that you are giving to people. You have to put different costs on your time. Your time has become more expensive. So when you put your time and your skill, you know that it has become more expensive. So you put your cost on it. In that case, you know that yes, you will improve on your service, you will improve on the value that you're giving to people, but at the same time, your cost has increased. The same way your revenue has to increase. So when we have this perspective, you will see that what we are doing is that we are all shifting from the level that we used to be to a new level that the government has placed us. That is not to say that the economy has improved. That only means that our thinking, our level must move to the level that we must meet the economy on the level that the government has placed it. Now that will be good for everyone, because the government really has not actually been so responsible for the people. Now the government has become even less responsible for the people, in the sense that what is deemed to be what people used to say that they enjoy, what they take for granted, has now become very important. People would have taken price of fuel for granted. Now it's important. People would have taken the value of their currency for granted, their purchasing power, parity with other countries. But now it is very important because the government has shifted us to a level that we have to see all those things and plan for them, see them as quite important. So that is the level. Now, why am I saying that the government has not actually shifted in a way that gives people some kind of respite and help people? The reason basically, there are many, but let me just begin to enumerate them one after the other. First, on the issue of fuel subsidy. Yes, it has been reduced. It has been removed. The local refinery, the Dangote refinery, is now working smoothly. There is no likelihood of scarcity because it is now business, profitable business for anyone that is into the oil and gas business in Nigeria.
Okay, then, welcome back from the second break. It's been all insightful. It's been an amazing time with the copacetic gentleman. The economy brought to you by Aba County has really been eye-opening. It's a beautiful experience. But due to our time, we will have to be wrapping up the show for today. It's the episode before the episode, and I'm sure everyone now understands what they should expect, what they should look up for. Not even look out for. Mr. Tolson, you've done so well to break it all down. And if I wasn't co-hosting on this show, I would always want to sign in to listen to your fresh perspective about the economy, individual perspective and positioning. Just before I allow you dive in on the final, part of the show, you spoke about pricing your value up. Even beggars don't collect 20 naira anymore. So you would rather do it 200 naira. So for you to survive in this economy, you have to price your value up. I would like you to speak about pricing value up before you wrap up your thoughts. We have like less than 5 minutes to go. And but please, would you mind speaking about pricing your value up? Thank you.
I think that's it. That is going to be an interesting topic. And I think that should actually be, it should be a talk for another day.
Yeah.
I would just bring some things up to it right now. There are time when we look at the metrics that we want to use to value yourself and to price yourself. For those that are in services, time is a value. So your time has to be priced. So you can be looking at the different things that you have to be priced, that you have to put a price on rather. Your price, your skill. I mean, not your price, your time, and your skill, and the result, your deliverables, are the things that you use in pricing your services. Because those are the things that enable you to be able to come to an appropriate costing of what you have been able to do. Your cost is not only what you incurred when you are doing the work. Your cost includes your time and your skill. Your cost is not only the cost of the deliverables, maybe tangible costs that you can see, your transport cost, where to use. Those are not only the costs; those are the visible ones. But there are also intrinsic costs, which include your time and your skill. So you have to be able to place values on those things. Place a price on those other things that we call your goodwill. So when you are able to price all those, you come into a price that will make you to also live a sustainable life within this economy.
That's amazing. Thank you, Paul. I know that this should actually be a topic itself. It should be another show by itself.
It's a whole topic because we need to bring the metrics. We need to be able to break it down so that people can see how they do their pricing, at least within on their head. Naturally, people should be able to price themselves, especially those in the middle class.
Interesting. So yeah, I'll allow you wrap up your thoughts on this end of the show, the latter end of the show as it is. You were speaking about the stability of the economy in regards to refinery and fuel being available, not necessarily affordable, and the end to possible scarcity of fuel. That was what happened before. Those were the points you were making before we went on the break. So you want to speak on that, and then let everybody be.
Okay, great. So I'll just wrap it up. I'll just wrap it up right now. I'll just wrap it up in a few minutes. Now, I'm saying that the economy is now, we can say that there is stability, and it's expected that there will be stability. And I think this is what the international people that are looking at it from outside, that's the international community, this is what they are seeing. And they're having a bit more confidence in the economy. Because it seems like things are stable. It's not likely that people are going to make their plans around it and undermine the effort of government or effort of people through corruption, or especially through subsidy. Because subsidy is a black market that nobody is seeing it. But now that the black market has been taken away, I'm looking at fuel and everything. That side, which was fueled by subsidy, has been taken away. It is easier for the economy or for the country to operate in a more stable fashion. So now that we are expecting the economy of the country to be more stable, we should be more stable, because things that the government have been doing that make it unstable before, that make government to come and make decisions, that make them to have this policy somersault in most cases, those things have been taken out. So the economy is now in the hand of the people. The government really do not have so much of contribution except regulation. So if the government will be kind to the people and make sure that the regulation does not stifle the people, make regulation to make things easier for the people, then the economy will continue to thrive. Another factor that we also know that make us to have so much confidence in this economy is that the labor, the demography of the country is such that more than 70% of the population is between age 18 and age 55. That's an active population. Now you have an active population that has people between 18 and 55. Then the next percentage close to that are the percentage of people between infant and age 18. So what you're seeing is that you're seeing a country with an active future. And when we have that, we know that is most likely everything is going to be stable. Now, government has taken its hand off most of the things that people would have relied on government for, except regulation. So if government is going to be fair with people, it will make sure that there is regulation that takes people into consideration, and people will be fine. Why am I saying this? Subsidy is gone. People pay for their fuel. There is nothing like government is supporting them. And regulation that government can put in this regard is to always make sure that the refiners and the marketers are not taking undue advantage of the people. For example, now the cost of crude is actually, the price of crude oil is going up now since the time that Israel decided to attack Iran. So that has already caused some instability within the market, caused some scarcity, and increased the price of crude oil. In that case, you will see the refiners are already passing their statement that the cost of the refined product are likely going to go up because the cost of crude is going up. But you will recall that even 2 months ago, Nigeria's Brent crude, you can fact check it, Nigeria's Brent crude was $78. As at that time, the PMS is sold in Nigeria at a price between 865 and 950. Now, at some point also, the cost of that crude went as low as $64, but there was no price change. There was no price change on the refined product. Now, government did not do anything in that regard. They allow the marketers and the refiners to take the profit. But as soon as you hear that the cost of crude is going up, the people will begin to hear it, and within a short while, you see that the effect is passed on the people immediately. Now, if the effect on that level is passed on the people, the government should be able to regulate in such a way that the effect of lower crude price is also passed to the people, so that we can actually see the price fluctuation and people can be aware of the cost of their natural resource, the cost of their crude oil, so they know that when the cost of their crude oil goes up, they will also pay more. And when they see that the cost of their crude oil has come down, they will also pay less. So people should be able to go watch that. People should be interested in the cost of crude if they are really interested in the price of petrol or the refined product.
Wow.
Okay. So that's what I think. On another issue of subsidy, which is on the currency subsidy, that government decided to float the currency, and we see that government has done quite a bit on that, and you see that Naira is actually getting stable. Naira is meant to be stable. Naira is meant to be adequately priced. Most economists don't believe that Naira is being priced at its right price. Many people think Naira is undervalued as we speak now. But a trend that we have also noticed is that the regulation doesn't seem to be favoring the people. For example, I want to say something. We could try to watch the trend, but you will see that this trend can be authentic, but we have not really delved into it to do any research on it. And that is this. We have seen a trend whereby the effort of the CBN, the operating system, we could see the effect in the price, especially in parallel market. That you see that at some point, Naira continue to appreciate. Like now, Naira is appreciating. Even in the parallel market, it's less than 1,600 Naira to $1 as we speak. I mean, you say that it's even somebody, you get to parallel market now, and they will offer you 1,500 as we speak today, this Friday. However, the trend that we have seen, somebody can fact check this. We've seen it since the beginning of the year, and that is that there is a time that the federal allocation is released to the state government, to the state governors, and that seems to be having a correlation with the price of Naira, or with the demands and supply of foreign currency, especially dollars. That anytime the federal allocation is released to the state government, Naira tend to depreciate. It's a correlation that has not been fact-checked, that has not been delved into or researched into, but it's something that is an hypothesis that we have seen, and we need to test that hypothesis. Anytime FARC has a correlation with value of Naira, that hypothesis should be tested. Because we've seen a trend whereby when FARC is released, the value of Naira depreciates because the demand for dollars increases. We think that government should also regulate in that area where the naira that government pumps to stimulate the economy. What is the naira being used for? Is it being used to purchase dollars? So government need to look at that. It's part of regulation. So that will make us to begin to see the effects of what the government has done by removing subsidy on the FX, on currency. So those are the things. Now, thirdly, you see, people now supply all their needs by themselves. Supply your water by yourself, supply your electricity by yourself, supply everything. Even people make roads by themselves. Now, what will we what will we expect that the government will be able to do is to look at all these basic things, that even if people have taken over the supply of their electricity and take over the supply of their water, how about the road? That is not personal. Electricity can be personal, water can be personal, but road is not personal. Can the government ensure that while we pay for roadworthiness on our cars, will the government also ensure that the roads are motorable? And if they are not motorable, will people have an opportunity to also take the government and government take an insurance on the people, that when the road that the government has provided spoils my car, I can tap into the insurance of the government and get a refund? And I think these are the kind of things that people should begin to look at when they want to ask their local government some question. I don't think there is anything that stops people from taking the local government to court because I have driven on a road full of potholes and it has spoiled my tire and my shock absorber. I could take the local government to the court because I have already paid roadworthiness. I paid for this road, to use this road. Then I should be expecting that the road will not give me an additional cost aside from the normal regular wear and tear on my property or on my asset. So we should get to that level. So I'm imploring that the government will be able to be more active in regulation, be more active in openness, like more transparent in their dealings with the people. Now, you need to also note that, yes, we are seeing a bit of that for the first time in a long time. I think it's more than 10 years. The NNPC is showing a monthly report for the first time. So we need to acknowledge that, appreciate it, that in terms of regulation, we think that the government should do a lot more than what they are doing and be more open to people. Then we're also saying that people should be able to now shift your base from where you are and shift to the level that the country is, and you will see that it will become more enjoyable even to you that are local within the country. So I think I will conclude on this note that Nigeria as it is has become a beautiful place. People have gone through if I want to invest now, I'd rather invest in Nigeria. Why? It has active population, young population. If the projection shows a country with an active future, I'd rather invest in that. And now also, the reliance of the government has been brought so low that you don't really, the government may not be relevant, that the relevance of the government now is in regulation, not really in prohibition. So that also gives you that comfort that the economy is going to be stable as long as the government is stable. Thank you very much.
Please go on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow. It's a beautiful place to end the show today. Let's have open the country. I was going to also ask you to please leave us with a charge, a word, an advice, economic, financial advice for the new week, such that whenever we hear it, or whenever we read it in text, it really just guides us for this week. But again, this is an insight-filled advice based on your expertise. What do you see happening this week? Should you want to prophesy, if that's the word?
Well, this week is ending, so I think everyone should just thank God for the week. Thank God it's Friday, and have fun, live a good life with what you have done this week. Just be happy this weekend. Then begin to plan for next week. I think next week is going to be good. I think it's going to be good if you have all this perspective and you launch out a new person. It's going to be good. Let us be more diligent in what we do, and hoping that God is going to make our efforts to be quite more profitable than we planned.
Thank you so much. Are the prices of rice going to go down? Price of cement? Are we going to be having fuel at 500 naira per liter? Do you want to share a bit of that?
Well, if it's price of cement, we want it to go down. People that are building people that are personally building want it to go down. I don't think that has anything to do with the developers, because they make their money anyway. That's the way things are in the economy. I don't think people that are investing in the stock market wants the price of price of cement to go down, because they are making more money. If you invest in the stock market, you're having more the dividend yield of the companies in that sector has increased. So any investor will want them to continue to thrive. That's one other thing that we did not mention. You will see that many of the companies on the stock market, even some of them that made losses in the previous year, they tend to be recovering. A case in point are those in the alcoholic beverages. You see that there were losses in the previous year, but now you're seeing that traction. You're seeing the gain, which means the economy is coming. Is really, people are adjusting to the economy.
Or if you don't mind, or people are just depressed and they're relying on bottles to help them stay happy. Thank you so much, Mr. Tulsing. And this has been The Economy brought to you by Abba County. It's been a phenomenal hour. I don't know. It's been beautiful. It's been 1 hour of insights, conversations with the copacetic gentleman himself, Mr. Tulsing. Mr. Tulsing, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, we want to thank you so much for your time, and then hope to see you next time. And then if you're tuning in, please kindly leave your thoughts, your questions, or your recommendations on the comment section, or send a DM. We'll be so delighted and elated to respond to you. Till you see you next time, have a fantastic, fantastic day. Bye.